The second piece of Democrat plantations when they were maintaining them in the South was ensuring that families were torn apart. Isn't that something, right? They needed to make sure, and I remember reading Booker T. Washington's Up From Slavery. In the first chapter, he talks about how when his mother died, he felt nothing. Because as a slave, it was nothing to lose your relatives. You just constantly were being traded from plantation to plantation, so they wanted to make sure they were severing familial relations. Does that answer your question when you look up and you say, how is it possible that families are so destroyed? And in the 1960s, there were about 20% of African-American families that were being, African-American children that were being raised without a father in the home, and they thought it was a crisis. Today that number is 75% of black children that are being raised without a father in the home. Father absence is one of the biggest epidemics that we are facing in this country if you want to talk about a pandemic. When I said bring back manly men, when I said we need masculinity, I meant it. I meant it. We need strong men to raise strong families, to lead strong households. The left understood that. The left understood that forever. The Democrats have understood that forever, and that is the reason why they routinely attack families, is why they want your children to mutilate themselves. They want to make sure they're so confused and so backwards, by the time they wake up, it'll be too late. It'll be too late, because your family will be broken down in 1,000 different ways. That's why they want abortions, more abortions. That's why they want people to believe that it's irresponsible to have children, says the Green New Deal. It's irresponsible, because the planet's going to be dead in 10 years. How many of you guys survived the planet being dead from the time you were in high school? Because I was told, crazy, look at that. We should go buy a lottery ticket, right? When I was growing up, it was global warming. Global warming was going to get us all. The polar bears were going to drown, we were going to die. And then I learned, and I believed it, of course, they made us all watch in school Al Gore, I almost said Al Sharpton, Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth. And they said the planet's going to be gone. It would be irresponsible for you guys to have children. We need you to be activists about the environment. Little did I know that they had done that over and over again. There was the ozone layer. There was the acid rain generation. Those poor kids. Imagine being scared every time it rained. Imagine if people did like Seattle. That'd be horrible. I mean, like, there was global cooling, that generation, global cooling. They were told that things were going to freeze over. And over and over and over again, because at the end of the day, they're already trying to tell children, converting them into little activists, using the environment as a new type of religion, right? Pledge your faith to environmentalism. The left knows that faith is never destroyed, it's just replaced, right? They want to destroy faith in God, they want to destroy faith in family, and they want to replace it with another type of obsession with environmentalism, obsession with all of these isms that they can create. They want you to worship government. They want the family to be destroyed. A third element of democratic plantations, and this one is my favorite because people said, okay, well, this definitely doesn't exist anymore, right? They used to whip slaves, they used to beat slaves, they used to sever slaves' limbs so that if they got caught trying to escape the plantations, when they got back, they would sever their limbs because they wanted to teach the other slaves, don't you dare, right? That was a part, it was a part of maintaining a plantation, to make sure that the slaves didn't get any ideas about their own freedom. And you go, okay, well, Candace, that's definitely not happening. I challenge you to think again. I challenge you to Google my name. I challenge you to Google the name of any black conservative that has had the audacity to pick up and walk away from the Democrat Party, and let me know what comes back at you. It's a figurative lynching. They attempt to destroy your reputation. You read my Wikipedia page, you read about Larry Elder, you read about Clarence Thomas, you read about Condoleezza Rice, you read about every single black conservative, Dr. Ben Carson, a literal brain surgeon who has about 1 million hits calling him stupid, okay? About 1 million hits calling a literal brain surgeon stupid. Why? because he had the audacity to get up and to walk away from Democrats. And that's not a fate now that's just for Black Americans. When I'm talking about these plantations, they're not just for Black Americans. They reserve the worst treatment for Black Americans because they see something proprietary. Candace Owens should not be speaking in a Republican room. Candace Owens should be owned by me. We created a system dating back to the 60s for Black Americans. They should be married to the Democrat Party. LBJ built that beast. He built that system. We've been giving them welfare for decades. They belong to us. They reserve the worst vitriol and the worst hatred for Black Americans. Oh, but it's for white Americans too. It's for white Americans too now. They're coming after everybody's families, right? They're coming after everybody's reputations if you don't kowtow to what they want. They're coming after everybody's children. The left seeks nothing more than absolute power, and we cannot give it to them. How many people in this room have my book? So you guys know